I'm just kidding. Okay. Hi everyone. Thank you for being here, and I know our group is in the post-lunch period, no? So I'll make sure that this session will give you more energy and not less. I'm Gerald Casipig from Advent Energy, and today I'd like to take you behind the scenes on how we turn energy audit into real business outcomes. But before we dive into how we can make energy efficiency not just a compliance checkbox, but a competitive advantage, let me share some few slides regarding Aboitiz Power and Advent Energy. Okay, so Aboitiz Power plays a key role across the entire energy value chain, from generation, distribution, and retail electricity supply. So where Advent Energy is. At Advent Energy, we focus on delivering reliable and sustainable power solutions directly to your businesses. Okay? So at Advent Energy, your decisions drive our direction, and we innovate to deliver smarter, more sustainable energy solutions. Again, no, at Advent Energy, innovation isn't just a one-time event. It's our everyday commitment to help your businesses thrive. At Advent Energy, we power progress, ensuring dependable energy for a nation moving toward a brighter future. Okay? So, trusted by industry leaders who demand excellence and choose us to deliver it. Okay, so the call for energy transition is loud and clear. It's not just about shifting fuels. It's about rethinking how we power growth. At Advent Energy, we are answering that call not with buzzwords, but with real solutions, such as DER, distributed energy resources, rooftop solar, or battery energy storage systems in the C&I space. Of course, working with Aboitiz Upgrade Solutions Inc. Advent Energy also delivers digital energy systems and smarter ways to cut waste and drive resilience. We're not just adapting to the future, we're building it one side at a time. Okay, so Advent Energy is not only a retail electricity supplier, but also an energy services company. So we do provide mechanical solutions for your HVAC requirements, electrical services, PMS, address power quality issues, and of course, energy management solutions. And also highlighting just these two services, smart metering and energy audit, which I will explain later. Okay, by show of hands, how many of you here can say that there's something up with this graph? Okay, some are raising their hands, some are a bit shy, I guess. Okay, anyway, so even without a technical background, we can all clearly see that there's something up with this graph. So allow me to explain. Around 6 or 7 years ago, we conducted a study to one of our customers located in Subic. To our surprise, though, we asked, what's happening during this period? So what they say is that it was their lunch break. So over 500 employees shut down their equipment and then restarted everything almost at once. That synchronized switch on caused massive demand spike. Again, this is not the exact graph, but a representation of that study. Okay, so remember, you're not only being charged based on energy use, but also based on your peak demand on a particular month. So that spike was costly. So to fix this, they implemented a staggered lunch breaks. And here's what happened next. Okay? So as you can see, after implementing staggered lunch breaks, the spike dropped significantly. Still there, of course, but now more manageable. Not all improvements, of course, can come from operational changes like this. No, some spikes are tied to your business operation, process, and require deeper fixes. So that brings us to the real takeaway. You cannot improve what you don't measure. Because data is the foundation of energy efficiency. So it reveals inefficiencies we don't see, like that large break spike, no? And it lets us move from insight to decision to action to real savings. So you cannot guess your way to efficiency. You need to measure and monitor if you want to act with precision and confidence. Now, I'd like to share, we were approached by one of our customers, a hotel facility, confidential for this case, that wanted to understand and improve their energy efficiency. So we conducted an in-depth measurement campaign, and what we found was surprising and promising. Okay, so our goal is to improve the whole facility energy performance. So we break this into SEUs, or significant energy users. So it's like air handling units, the one that was explained a while ago, chiller plants, EMS, and lighting. Each was assessed at the level it needed. Walkthrough for plug loads, spot measurements for air handling units, and full diagnostics for chillers. So this lets us target the right fixes for each part of the facility. So the objective of the audit is, of course, to review the major energy systems: chillers, AHUs, lighting pumps, boilers, and refrigeration. Of course, I'm not going to go through in the interest of time and just discuss 3 items. So we analyzed the utility data for the past 5 years, use spot measurements, and then benchmark performance. We did check their EUI, or energy use intensity. So it tells us how much energy a facility uses per square meter. It's like the PMI for buildings. So as you can see from this graph, from 2020 to 2024, EUI rose from 220.2 to 405.6. Now, there's a jump of 84%. So it's important to note also that this was during the time of 2020. There was unusually low consumption, and it was because of the operations were scaled back then because of the pandemic. But even if we use the data from 2021, it's still significant, about 62%. Either way, it clearly shows energy use is trending upward, and it's time to act. So what else did we do? Okay, so we benchmarked that EUI that we checked. So using Singapore's BCA benchmark, or Building and Construction Authority, we determined that this facility could realistically improve its energy use by 43%. That's our target, what best-in-class performance should look like. And then we validated individual equipment, AHUs to airflow, temperature, humidity, and kilowatt readings. We found underperforming units with excessive or insufficient airflow and poor cooling delivery. Okay, so I'm not going to go into all of this, but just to prove that there's a data that back our study. So our analysis revealed that this unit had too much airflow, with volume flow exceeding the design by 54.3%. So this led to higher energy use without added benefit. So more importantly, input power was up by 44.6%. In short, this air handling unit was consuming too much power for the cooling it was delivering, mainly due to excess airflow and moisture load. So another air handling unit, our analysis revealed that this unit had too much airflow. This unit had the opposite issue: severely low airflow, operating at just 31% of the design, which led to uneven cooling and poor performance. Even worse, it's consuming more energy than expected. This means that it was underperforming in cooling while over-consuming energy. The unit was also over-humidifying with sensible heat ratio dropping by 58%, as I think this was also explained a while ago. So overall, this air handling unit, Peyton was a clear candidate for collective actions due to both energy waste and comfort issues. So what are the recommendations? First, for AHU20, we recommend variable frequency drives and cleaning of coils. For Peyton B, we suggested coil replacement, leak fixes, efficient motor upgrades. So these improvements can cut waste and restore comfort. So last equipment that I'd like to share, the chiller. So the system was over-pumping. CHW and COW flows exceeded design by 20%. So this led to inefficiency despite individual components being sized correctly. So again, the recommendation, install BFDs, arrange control logic, rebalance flow, consider variable flow systems, and the results, up to 21% pump savings, restored chiller efficiency, and longer equipment life. Now, what is the impact of that? So with just an investment of 6.5 billion, there's an annual savings of 3.5 billion, 35 billion over the span of 10 years, and ROI of 438%. So there's a small table on my left just to show that we recommended actually 3 EEMs or energy efficiency measures, but we just discussed 3 and highlighted to the customer these 3 for them for the implementation. And this is backed by real data, not assumptions. So efficiency is not just a technical upgrade, it's a smart investment with measurable returns. So, thank you once again for your time. We're happy to explore opportunities with anyone interested in replicating these results. So let's unlock savings one insight at a time.